Hey guys, it's Matt here from Affirmation NFT. Just had a quick nudge from one of my fellow creators on Hedera about creating a video on the account key reset script that I put in the Hashgraph Tools repo. Realised I've done a few tweets about it, and I've also done a bit of a write up here on the actual repo itself, just around requirements, getting started, assumptions, all of these different things in there. But I haven't yet done an actual YouTube video on it for you guys. So I thought I'd do that just in terms of trying to help anybody that's trying to use this and just showing you an example of it on the testnet too. There are loads of bits of information I've shared in this wiki, so please go through and read that, not least the fact that your Hedera account is obviously the central point of authority for all things that you do with the network, in terms of storing your NFTs, storing fungible tokens, storing your HBAR itself. So don't wade into this lightly. Please test on testnet first. Only use this if you are completely comfortable doing it and are prepared to accept the risk of doing it yourself. I can't obviously take that risk for you, so you do have to be comfortable that having used this on a testnet account and worked through and understood what's going on, that you are comfortable doing it for your mainnet account and taking responsibility for that. That said, I'd like to jump in and just show you how this is used. I have a copy of this repo here on my machine here, and I've got a few pending commits of things that I'm going to do work-wise on this repo. So just ignore anything that looks a little bit different, but essentially it's the same code, just some extra bits and pieces I'm just currently in the flow of working on. First up, I just want to say that if you've used these scripts before, then you'll likely have a number of things set up, done and dusted. If you haven't, there'll be prerequisites and info on the repo, so check that out. The first thing that you're going to want to make sure that you've got in place is essentially having the account key reset script as the start script that's set up in the package.json in the roots of that repo. Then you're going to want to make sure that you set up the environment variables that you're going to undertake the account reset for. So I can happily display these because I'm going to be resetting it anyway as part of walking through this, but essentially in the environment file itself, all you need to have set up is the operator key and the account key here. These are both the same in this particular instance anyway. It's just that this is the one that's going to be paying for the operations. This is the one that I want to do the reset for. They can both be the same on this occasion. I'm going to save those changes. You'll note here this is testnet. This is a testnet account, and it's set up as testnet by default as well. In the account key reset script itself, everything is pretty much set up and ready to go once you've got those environment variables set up and once you've got that script put in place for it. What this is going to do, just so that you're across it, is that you're going to end up connecting to the testnet with the operator account that you've set up. It's going to grab the environment variables that it needs for the account that's going to be changed. It's then going to go and create new mnemonic phrase, and public and private key pair, and then it's going to display those for you, and it's going to update your account with that new key, and it's going to sign the transaction and just give you a success or failure sort of report based on the success of that transaction. So you're seeing here that this doesn't store your keys anywhere having gone through that transaction. This is all out of the box Hashgraph SDK operations and functionality. So the key thing, excuse the pun, is that when you actually undertake this, that you actually note down the new information that's generated for you before you move away or do anything else, because that's the only place that information is going to be displayed. It's not storing it anywhere else. You can't get back to it. So do not forget to capture that and store it somewhere safe. If you don't, you will lock yourself out of your account, and that would be even worse. So please, 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 once you've run the script, make sure you save that and you put it somewhere safe. Okay, that warning aside, and that sort of stress point aside, I'm going to run this now for this particular account, and just to show you what that looks like. So I'm just going to come down here into the terminal of VS Code, and very simply I'm going to do npm start. Just going to drag this up a little bit, and I'm going to execute that. You'll see there it's spat out the new credentials for me, and it's also told me that the transaction was successful. So at this point, I need to make sure, and there we go, it's totally finished at that point. I need to make sure that I grab this and I store this information here. That's the type of stuff that I was talking about. If I was to try and run that operation again, and I'm just going to copy this out to, say, Notepad. I'm going to pop it in there. Just want to make sure, doubly sure I've got all of that right down. I have. Not that it's the end of the world if that sort of gets moved. If I was going to try and rerun this script now, you'll see that it would spit the dummy for me because it's obviously reset the key. So I'm just going to show you that straight away. So if I try and do this again, do npm start, it's not going to let me do it. It's generated the credentials up here, which it does anyway. But then when it's tried to actually sign a transaction and push that through, it's then failed because it's got an invalid signature. Okay, so what I would have to do then is that I'd have to copy the new private key that I've just generated. So I've just got that off screen at the moment, but I'm just going to paste this in here and hit save again. And then once again, if I try and reset the keys all over again, then it's going to let me do it because I've got the right key. Okay, so it's affecting that account immediately. And as I said before, you absolutely need to make sure that you grab these bits of information, particularly public key, private key, and the new phrase that you've got. I'm just going to paste that off screen. Make sure that you store that and put it somewhere safe. If you don't and you move away and you come out of this and you close it, you're going to lose access to that account, and that would be criminal. So just to recap, in summary, download the repo, get yourself set up to use that with the requirements of that. Update your package JSON with the account reset key. Scripts to be used when you start the particular node server. Then update the environment variables in your environment file, and then you're pretty much good to go with going npm start and it resetting. And this is the outcome that you're looking for there. So it'll have the new information and the script. Hope that gives you a bit of insight into how that script works and what to expect when you run it. Can't stress enough for you to test that on the testnet, and finally to get into the habit of making sure you grab those details and that you save them before navigating anywhere else. Other than that, I hope that's all good and that gives you a sense of insight into how that works. Take care, and until next time, it's Matt from Affirmation NFT. Take care.